Hello, vinyl community, and thank you for joining me here at the Michigan Record Club. I'm Bill Young, and today I would like to do the 2021 vinyl tag. This is a series of 20 questions that the people who do videos here in the vinyl community, we like to answer these questions, and then you can learn a little bit about us and a little bit about how last year went for us. And so I have the questions written down. There is a set list of questions. And the first question is to list a discovery in the year 2020. And so the discovery that I'm going to talk about is Billie Eilish. I got like 4 records of hers. Billie did not start last year. I discovered her last year, but she actually made a splash in 2019. But yeah, I like her as a new artist. Her voice is haunting, and it's her music is quite unique. And then the next question is to list a quarantine purchase. And just like a lot of people, I did buy a few records during the quarantine. This is the one that I finally picked up from my collection. It is the album Road. And I've been wanting to get that album for a while, and so I decided to pull the trigger during the quarantine. The next one is list an LP that you want to find this coming year in 2021 and you'd like to purchase. I know a couple of them. I think one that I'm really looking forward to buying, though, would be Sidewinder. It's a jazz album, and it's supposed to be very good, and I've listened to a little bit of it, and I think I would like it, and I would like to own it in my collection. Next up is show a box set. Well, I showed this one this year. This is the Kwine Tapes. And the Kwine Tapes is named after a gentleman by the name of Quine, who recorded several Velvet Underground concerts. They weren't very big concerts. They were just small, like college type venues, and these tapes are wonderful, especially if you like the Velvet Underground and you listen to them live. It's you like them even more. They're such a good band that performs live. And now it said the next question was a concept album. I'm not really big on concept albums, but I did pick out this one from my collection. It is the Electric Prunes' Release of an Oath. It's probably one of my least favorite albums by the Electric Prunes. but it is a concept album. It kind of takes you through what would be like a religious service or something, including a closing hymn even. So the next question is, name an album where an artist or a band changed directions. This one came to my mind along with several others. But this is Fleetwood Mac, titled simply Fleetwood Mac. And this album was released after the band had picked up Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. They went from a traditional blues band to a pop group, and they did it very well. In fact, this was the first album that they made together, but the one after this, which everybody knows, Rumors, went on to become one of the best-selling albums of all time. All right, the next one is name an album that has a white label promo. And here is Peter Tosh, Legalize It. It's got the radio tag there. And as you can see, it has a Columbia white label. Next is name a compilation album. A lot of people who know me know that I love new wave of British heavy metal. And some of the new wave of British heavy metal compilations are awesome. They give you so many good bands, and there were so many of them to choose from, and put them on an album. And I chose this particular one. I have several. This one is called All Hell Let Loose. That's what it's called. It has groups on here like Raven, Steel, Crucifixion, Jaguar, Persian Risk, Warrior, Alien. They got some great groups, you know, and they don't do more than one song, and it has like 12 songs, so they highlight like 12 different albums. All right, the next one, it says list an album that has a story. This story could be personal. This particular story I'm going to talk about is back in '72, Bob Seger. Well, this happens to be a bootleg. This is the real album that was released. The funny thing is the bootleg, although the outer sleeve is identical, the album itself has some very peculiar differences. There's the label on it. It has a different label, of course. But some of the names of the songs on here, like instead of back in '72, it says 14 years ago, which would be 1972 when this record was made. And it lists the song as Las Vegas Night when the song is called Neon Sky. It calls the song Take It Easy when the song actually is I've Been Working. You see where they make a play on the actual title, but they don't list the actual title of the song. The last one, No Hurry, Babe, and the real song was called We've Got Time. So all of the songs are like that, and that's the story of the bootleg version of back in '72. I do need a drink. Oy. All right. Next question. Name an album that needs a vinyl pressing. Well, there are several groups that were around during the 90s, but that happens to be the time when vinyl was phasing out, and some groups only produced CDs. And several of these bands have, especially recently, released vinyl records for the first time for these particular albums that were never released on vinyl. A lot of them were hair metal bands at that time. And I'd like to see Poison. I'd like to see their library get filled out with some of the records like Poisoned with a D. That happens to be a CD which has a lot of great songs on it by Poison. And there is no vinyl. So then it says, list a common and an uncommon album. Okay, here's a common album. A lot of people like AC/DC know about the Highway to Hell. And this is the same album, but you can tell it's a little different. This happens to be the Australian version. In Australia, ours probably is harder to get. But here, that album is extremely hard to find. All right, moving along. Name an EP. Greta Van Fleet, Black Smoke Rising. These boys are from just down the road a bit, down in Frankenmuth, and it's just a few minutes away from where I live. They have had a couple of great years, and this is an EP, 4 songs by the boys. And it says, name a girl group. First concert I ever went to, the Runaways with Rush. But the girl group that I fell in love with when I was 16 years old was the Runaways. An album cover you love. An album cover I love. I don't know if I love it, but I think it's cool because it's the introduction of Eddie. And this is the first picture we get of him. Of course, he developed a little bit different over the years. This happens to be an album from, where is it? From South America. Argentina. So, Iron Maiden album, self-titled Iron Maiden. An album that you listen to the most. Pretty sure if we clocked it, this album gets played quite regularly in our house. My wife and I both love Pink Floyd, and this album especially gets played a lot. Maybe it's because it's an original master recording copy and it sounds just so good too. All right, next question. An album that you listen to that was that one. An album that you had to get an OG, an original copy. When I discovered jazz, and the more I heard about Miles Davis, Kind of Blue, the more I thought I definitely need a 6i original copy of Miles Davis. And that's what I got, and it sounds wonderful. So, Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. The last album you purchased. Last album I purchased is The Remains. An album I don't get. Well, I get them, but a lot of people will say they don't get them. And this is a new band called the Struts. An excellent group out of the UK. They sound modern, yet they do sound like a lot of the UK rock that has come out over the years. I think the closest I would come to would probably be maybe, I don't know, maybe Queen. The lead singer's not as good as Freddie Mercury, but got that same accent, of course. So, but the Struts, people just don't seem to get them. Name of punk album. It's got punk in the title. Surf Punks. And the last one is your favorite 2020 release. Well, during Record Store Day, quite often they have releases that are reissues. And my favorite 2020 reissue would be Parish Hall. I've always wanted a copy of Parish Hall. I was about ready to pay $100+ for it, but lo and behold, they came out with this reissue, and it sounds fabulous. It was a very popular album amongst a lot of people during Record Store Day. So that's it, folks. My 20 questions, and I did it in under 20 minutes. So I guess I did pretty good. I thank you. And of course, if you want to say hi or anything, I'll always reply back to you if I can in the comments. Other than that, I hope you have a great year, 2021. And thank you. Goodbye.